Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I'm your host, Christian, the unbiased king. Espinal, that was probably a little loud. Sorry about that. And also joining us, it is my co-host, my partner in crime. It is the tank top god, Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's good, Chris? What up, everybody listening? Happy Labor Day.
Hey.
I got a Jamaica shirt on.
Yeah.
The rep.
Support your local union. So, yeah, it is Labor Day. We're working on a holiday. Look at us.
We're on Eastern Parkway giving it up crazy right now as we speak. Let's stay hard.
I moved apartments to Crown Heights on Labor Day, on the parade day. Man, what a first night to spend in Crown Heights. But yeah, anyway, we got
you heard mad gunshots too, right?
Actually, no, it was just like regular parade noise, but it was just fucking loud and crazy. And the next morning it looked like a wasteland. So, it'd be that way.
Yeah, it's a whole parade.
Yeah. But we got kind of a short show. We're down one manga, but we got Chainsaw Man to sub in. One Piece is taken down, so it's up to Chainsaw Man to fill the void. Brian's not here. Edgelord Big News Brian could not be here today. He's feeling a little under the weather, but we dedicate this one to him, one of our fallen soldiers. But yeah. You can follow him at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram, and his video game stuff is twitch.tv/itspunchline. Get his plug out of the way. But anyway, let's get our plugs out of the way. Fuck it. Let's get this show on the road. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JDCole_37. That's on Instagram, and at NYChillin with an EN, not an ING. That's on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on Twitter, especially because we do a really good chapter of the week poll every week, where you guys get to vote on your favorite chapter. We only are allowed to do 4 by Twitter's polling methods. So, if your series is not on there, if your favorite series isn't on there, you can reply to the tweet and I'll count your vote in a grand scheme vote there. Follow us there. And we're on TikTok as well. I guess I should be plugging that, but the TikTok is more meant to bring people here to this YouTube page where you can subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe, like the podcast, share the podcast, comment underneath the podcast, whatever your favorite series was, what you thought about the series, and general thoughts on the show. That would be very nice to get some feedback and make the show a little better for you guys. And if you prefer audio podcasts, we're on pretty much every audio platform that you could find, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Pandora, wherever you listen to podcasts, we're on there. So check us out.
Literally everything.
Literally everywhere. We're on platforms I've never even fucking heard of. So, you have no excuses. You can find us anywhere. With that being said, I think that's it for now. Oh, email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. If you don't really want to comment or whatever, that's another way to reach us if you like. And leave a 5-star review on any of the audio podcast platforms that you listen to. All right, that's it. Let's get into the show proper. My Hero Academia.
My Brian Academia.
My Brian Academia. He could not make it today, but we'll do it in spirit. We'll have a good spirit about this for Brian. I'll play devil's advocate. Yeah. Pretty heavy for him, I guess.
It's okay.
This is My Hero Academia, chapter 365, number 4 and number 5. There is now one chapter of My Hero Academia for every day of the year. Very fun fact. But anyway.
You can read one chapter a day for a whole year.
Yeah.
That's significant.
It is significant. But anyway, last we left off, the heroes were having a bad time against Shigaraki, as per usual. All for One in the background is just like I guess crushing it. Like he's taking other people's quirks and he's giving his evil villain monologue. The rest of the world outside of Japan are apparently cowards and are not going to help in Japan against the worst villain of all time, which is cool, I guess. America would be all up in that shit. Probably,
yeah.
probably.
I guess they learned their lesson.
I guess. What a time to learn a lesson. But anyway, and the chapter last week ended with Edgeshot, out of all people, coming in to revive Bakugo, using his quirk, and we get a reminder of what his quirk is, and his quirk is Fold the Body. It allows him to stretch his body, making it thin and spindly. After years of devoted training to his quirk, he can make it even thinner, as thin as physically possible, to stop gushing blood. And he does that, basically. He has one of Wash's bubbles, so he's passing himself through that, sterilizing himself.
Oh my god, I thought that was so fucking funny. For all the wrong reasons.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, well.
You didn't have any type of...
I mean, I guess there are more crazier things happening that I was like, I guess this is fine.
It is fine. I'm just an asshole. Let me stop.
But yeah. So he's basically
pretty convenient though. But he's there, so.
He's making his body spindly and thin, and sterilizing it on the way. So before he infiltrates the boy's innards, which is an unfortunate sentence.
Yeah. That's exactly what he said. I was reading that shit on the train. I was like,
hey.
I don't know about that one, guys. I'm not even going to put this on Horikoshi. That was on who was translating. Doesn't it have their names? Caleb Cook?
Caleb Cook.
That was suspect, my guy.
That was sus, Caleb.
Because he said it wasn't just that he said he was going to get in his innards. He said, like,
he was infiltrating the boys' innards.
The boys. Yo,
I was like, why did you say it that way? Anyway.
Yo.
Yeah.
All right, anyway.
Yeah, so
that was wild. That was wild.
It was.
Now I got it all out of my system.
Yeah, so he's like just basically using himself as a thread to stitch Bakugo's already dead heart together. I don't know if this is how this works. I don't think you could just like revive a beating heart just because you stitched it together. A dead heart just because you stitched it together. But we'll see. Maybe there's something else to it.
I'm no surgeon, so I'm gonna back away from this.
You're right. You know what? Maybe I'm being arrogant, and maybe I don't understand.
Perhaps. What happened to that suspension of disbelief?
Man.
Or whatever.
This series is going to suffer now that Brian's not here. Oh, I'm sorry.
He chose his fate.
He did choose it. He did leave this series defenseless. That's on him. Okay, so anyway. Shigaraki peeps this is happening, and he's just like, that one? I already destroyed that one. And he just kind of says it to himself. He's like, wait, what's going on over there? I already destroyed that one. And then he gets pissed because he just like kind of realized like, oh shit, no, I already destroyed that one. And he goes full board towards Bakugo. Miracle manages to break free and kick the shit out of Shigaraki directly in his face. Very cool, I guess. And Shigaraki just turns around. He's like, "Are you that eager to get crushed?" And he's
crunched.
Yeah, he slaps her away, and as he's like continuing his progress, he starts thinking, he's like, "What? Did I just stagger a little? No way! Not in this body. This body is awesome. Wait,
your body's awesome." That is what he said. He did.
No, he did say this body's awesome.
He might as well.
But yeah, Mirako just like kind of shakes that shit off. She says like, "You're so gentle, Mr. Demon Lord." It's pretty good. Pretty good line.
And It's a very interesting chapter.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, we get a little glimpse of Mirio coming in and obstructing Shigaraki's vision, allowing Mirko to just like go ham and use her ultimate technique, Luna Rush, just kicking him multiple times, very, very hard. Mirko is very much giving off little Mariel Leona vibes from Black Clover, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all.
There's been others before.
Yeah.
Tsunade is kind of that too.
A little bit. Not as much because like Mario Leona goes hard in a way that Tsunade goes hard, but she's not like aggressive, talk shit type go hard, you know? She just goes hard.
True.
For the sake of Konohagakure.
Konohagakure. Ooh, that was nice.
Oh yeah.
That was A1, bro.
I tried my best. So Shigaraki gets kicked in his motherfucking face, and he slings forward. He's having like flashbacks. I guess he got kicked so hard, and he starts, I guess, reliving his childhood trauma, where he's just like, even though I already destroyed them, they keep coming back. I wasn't broken back then, but it's not like anybody reached out to me. And I guess like
All for One did.
All for One did, but not for altruistic purposes, to be honest.
Well, you don't know his life.
You're right. I don't know his life. You're right.
We're gonna find out soon, though.
Yeah. And we see the
when
little
he destroys all the heroes.
Yeah, we see the little weird fungus arm thing that goes on with Shigaraki starts to take the form of his dead family. And that's where that's where the chapter ends. Well, here we are. Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
This was actually one of the few times that it being short on pages, because again, this is only 13 pages. Like the last few had been, the last handful had been like 12, 13, for like in that area. But I wanted more out of this chapter. I actually was enjoying it weird. I'm not gonna say weirdly enough. I thought I enjoyed the pace of this chapter, and I guess it's kind of nice to see that Shigaraki's finally starting to like unwind a little bit, and it makes sense. It's not like this out of nowhere shit. He has a fractured mind to begin with. He's a wild guy. He's been through intense trauma, and now you got this little boy in him. It's hopefully they keep him away from Headshot, and he's not infiltrated as well. We want another one of those.
Yeah, hey, no infiltrating this boy's innards.
Yeah, Shigaraki's fucked up enough,
Yeah, he doesn't need it. Were those all your thoughts, or?
No. I can't get behind Mirko, honestly. And I think I kind of think, I never really thought about it like that, but I think Marileona is a huge reason why, because they just seem so similar to each other. And I know Marileona a little bit more, because Black Clover does a slightly better job at, fleshing out its support characters. How crazy is that? Crazy is that?
That is kind of crazy, huh?
You agree?
I do agree. I mean, we definitely
slightly.
I think Black Clover does a lot of a better job. I would say that. I would agree with that. Maybe not a lot, but
I
better.
think the ones that when My Hero, just for so you know how clear I'm about, like, I want you to be clear on this from me. Anyway, look. When My Hero actually does do it, and they do hone in on a character, and they do give it the appropriate amount of time and dedication, it's done way better than most Black Clover characters. But when it comes to the sheer amount that Black Clover has been able to, flesh out throughout the whole series compared to My Hero, that's why I say I feel like they've done it like a little bit better, because it's way more.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with that. It is kind of funny to think about it. I never thought about it that way, but every character does have like I understand them a lot better, and you know there are these tertiary wizards in Black Clover that have a little more depth than maybe a lot of the adult heroes in My Hero Academia.
Mm.
And it's weird to have landed on this Black Clover comparison, but yeah, that's an interesting thought. Did you have any other thoughts?
I guess I'm just thinking about what's going to happen with these parents coming out of his body.
Yeah.
Is he? I mean, he's getting beat up, right? So then this is happening.
Yeah, it's like coming out of his arm, you know, like the arm that's like creating all those weird fungus fingers and shit.
Oh man, he's got a ground beef arm too. What the hell is going on in Japan right now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is another villain going to have, you know, that 80-20 on deck? Or I don't know, maybe you're more of a 90-10 guy. I could do the 80s. I'm talking about different types of ground beef.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Shout out to those that know.
I don't know. I don't work a lot with ground beef.
I don't have too many. I don't really have any other thoughts, to be honest. Anything that stuck out to you?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like formulate a lot of thoughts with this series because it's a lot of action and 13 pages per chapter.
Yeah.
So I'll say that like I guess it is just like a continuation of Horikoshi drawing his heart off and then just like continuing. And it feels like a little bit like the story is like dragging, I guess. The thing with like, oh, here's the one note I really had is that the longer we kind of focus on this Bakugo heart reconstruction thing, the more it kind of annoys me. It just like gives time to sit there and settle, and it feels just like wholly unnecessary that Bakugo even had to die in the first place. Because like pretty much like a chapter or two later, they're already like bringing him back. So it is like just kind of what's the point? What was the point? Just to take Bakugo out of the game for a little bit? I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. Like we felt like he died.
Yeah,
you mentioned this last week, and I agree. I didn't really get a chance to agree with you and talk about it, but yeah, like it feels like it's playing around with death for no reason.
Yeah, and
he could have just been decapitated. He could have got his limbs chopped off or something like that, and been I don't know. He didn't die. If he comes back to life, he didn't die.
Well, it's not even that I have a problem with him coming back to life.
His soul didn't go to heaven.
It's not that I have a problem with him coming back to life necessarily. It's just the idea of it just felt like kind of a waste because like it's the time that the tension has to sit with us that Bakugo's dead is like so small and so short, and it's like, well, if you're gonna bring him back immediately anyway, then what was even the point of putting him down, you know? Because it's not like anybody else is getting significant character development in his stead. Everybody's just pretty much on this, like, what has been just this continually fast-paced battle where nobody really has a chance to breathe and, you know, have that kind of character arc. And any character arc that there is involving other people is just, like, really compressed to, like, a page or two or even a panel. It's just bizarre, you know? And I feel like, I don't know if this is just, like, a result of Horikoshi rushing it. But I feel like this whole thing could have worked better if it was just like, if Horikoshi had given more, importance to just like stretch the war out and have like these individual battles and, you know, have things going on in the background. It's just off, you know? It feels
I'm gonna make a prediction really quick.
What?
It does feel off. All right, you know what? I should have waited for you to finish your thoughts, but I really didn't want to lose this because I have a theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you already know that Bakugo is the ancestor of whoever was number 2, right? This is all but confirmed.
Pretty much. It's a high chance, a high probability that Bakugo is a descendant of an all-for-one user or one-for-all user.
Right. Oh, so you know what? This actually does have to do with what you were saying. All right, hear me out. What started this whole kind of like turn, at least for sure. Listen, Bakugo didn't need to die. I agree with you on that. But I guess just looking at it like this fight, what's happening now, right? Like when Bakugo was, really wrecked and like, awakening his quirk and fighting against Shigaraki, he put like a fear in his heart. And I didn't think about it until now, actually, because maybe it was the All For One quirk in his body reacting to like the second One For All holder. Since he probably had a similar quirk where it was like this explosion type situation, and I think that's going to be able to put him on par with, you know what I'm saying, almost like with like at least at a level like where he'll be able to fight Shigaraki like realistically. And I think Deku's going to unlock that same ability too. They're going to be like Blasty brothers, and they're going to win.
Watch out, it's the Blasty brothers.
Yes.
Now, I mean, that's a possibility. I think there's definitely an effort to make it known that they're like Bakugo has some One For All connection. So that's entirely possible. I don't know. I guess it all goes back to this central problem of My Hero Academia, which is pace and time. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of people are. I read somewhere in the comments of like the Shonen Jump app, because sometimes I look into it just to see the general how people are feeling about this, and I think like some people have like theorized that perhaps like this week is like a development week for Horikoshi to kind of like get his next series up and running. I don't know how true that is. But I wouldn't be surprised. But it does seem a little. He still has a lot to do, so I don't know if
he already has a new series in mind and all of that.
No, nothing's confirmed on that. This is just like a comment I read, and I was like, I don't know.
That would be nice.
I wouldn't. I don't know. I feel like he still has a lot left to finish with My Hero Academia before he can like start really developing a new series. I would hope that.
I thought that too. I thought that a few times.
Yeah.
Throughout the series.
I mean, it's not going to end next week, so we'll have to see.
That's also what I thought.
Yeah, I don't know.
One time.
But anyway, that was not really relevant to what I'm saying. I don't even know how I got there, but I don't know, man. I guess it was just like I'm implying that it feels rushed as usual. It just is kind of missed opportunities, and I don't know what is the cause. We can only none of us are working with Horikoshi, so we couldn't know. But it definitely does feel like kind of a element of rushing it, or like sprinting to the end. But I don't know. I don't really have all that many more thoughts about My Hero Academia. The chapter itself is fine. It didn't make me angry. It didn't make me like upset. It's just like.
This actually was a fine chapter.
It was fine. I
agree with you on that. Yeah.
And My Hero Academia has been kind of fine at best for a while now. But this is one of the fine ones. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's it for me.
The problem is that when they're talking about things going on outside of the battle or amongst themselves, or whenever it's not fighting, it all just kind of feels like, remember plain yogurt? Yeah, I brought that up.
Yeah,
it's what it's like whatever. None of this really matters. I don't want to hear it. Like every time All For One talks about his vision of it's like, I know we're not gonna get another deep pull. You're not gonna reveal something that's gonna be like, oh shit,
yeah,
this whole time that was that and this was this, and oh, that's a good reason for that. No, he said it straight up. Like, I just want to be evil.
Well, that's the thing.
Is cool for its own reasons. But.
Well, that's the thing. It's also like for a series that's like really running to the end. It's also Horikoshi's like also really withholding on certain things, because there's clearly something going on with All For One. Like, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of a small flashback in terms of like All For One and his relationship with the One For All guy, his brother. I'm sure
the original, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. it is kind of like that's one of the things I mentioned last week as well. It's just kind of annoying. It's just like, just say it already. We're 365 chapters in, dude. How many times are we gonna like withhold this? We're at the final battle. What else do you want to happen? I guess All Might has to appear on the scene at some point so he could have.
Too, right? Just to be regular.
Yeah, just to be regular. But yeah, okay. I'm tapped out on My Hero Academia.
Same.
I suppose we should move onward then. Chainsaw Man.
What an interesting chapter.
Yeah, this
of
is
Chainsaw Man.
This is Chainsaw Man chapter 103, Denji Dream. Denji Dream. I thought it was Denji's Dream, but it's just Denji Dream. All right, last we left off, there was a pretty brutal and bloody battle between the Chainsaw Man and the Cockroach Devil, in which he saved a cat and let 5 humans die.
Both literally and literarily.
Literarily.
Yeah.
Literarily. Narratively, probably, is the best word.
Narrative, yes. Yeah.
But yeah, he's everybody sees him as a hero for the most part. He's like basically a celebrity. Everybody's got Chainsaw Man t-shirts on. There's this guy who's like a mascot for a clothing store that has a Chainsaw Man head. There is a blimp. There's one singular blimp that reads Chainsaw Man is a man-eating devil. So, it's not all, rainbows and sunshines for old Chainsaw Man. But, on the news, it's pretty much everybody's like, whoa. We get actually a lot of people's different reactions to Chainsaw Man. We have this one guy who's like, I'm a huge fan. Too gory for kids, though. There's one guy who's not like a fan. He's just like, I just don't like him. This kid who's like, my entire class is obsessed. Somebody who's telling him that that Chainsaw Man is stealing jobs from devil hunters. People don't like him and like him for various reasons.
There's this one kid that I was like, oh shit, that's literally me. That's Japanese Josh.
Oh, is it too popular? It ticks me off.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you would be him. You'd be all right. We get it.
I mean, whatever.
All
Not
right.
all that.
All right.
Too popular.
Yeah. So, one guy's like a conspiracy theory. He's like, Chainsaw Man doesn't really exist. It's American propaganda. And this old lady makes me laugh.
Maybe.
She's like, that chainsaw whatever saved the cat yesterday, right? It only saved a cat to eat it. I guarantee you.
I guarantee you.
And then
that's plausible.
the very next reaction is actually Denji himself. I was actually kind of shocked when I turned the page and it was him. And he's like, he just staring at this old lady, I think. He's like, if you ask me,
what the fuck?
Yeah, he's pissed. He's like, man, if you ask me, Chainsaw Man hasn't eaten that cat. Everybody at my school loves Chainsaw Man. He's just like really playing up Chainsaw Man, and then he's like starts giving out his number. He's like, by the BTW, yeah. He says
because one of the girls was like, I love Chainsaw Man. If you're watching this, give me your number.
Yeah, he's like, I think his number is 34, and then the cameraman behind the camera is just like, hey, you can't just give your fucking phone number on the air. This is gonna be on television. And they're gonna cut out his number, but he turns around and this news anchor is basically like, to close out our program, let's get a call for Chainsaw Man from the crowd. And the crowd just basically chants Chainsaw Man's name. He's like, Chainsaw Man, Chainsaw Man. And Denji is just like,
Right, he goes from just like standing there like, oh, this is nice. And then he's like, yeah, like fucking Captain America.
Very interesting. And then that kid from Asa's class pulls up, Squid Boy, as I fucking called it.
You did.
I remembered. I remember
Good
because
God.
you know why
Yes, you were trained by One Piece. Whatever, man.
I was trained by One Piece to remember most characters, but you know why I remember him? Because he was he was the one that the old man with the scar was talking to when he was talking about like Makima might be listening, and I don't know.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
him. You sure?
Yeah. You sure?
Sure, she's not listening.
Listen.
Listening.
Yeah, these niggas. Oh my God. Nah, it was the amount of weight she held in the series was incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
And now she's just a little girl.
As far as we know, we don't know what happened to her. Now it's been a while. It's been like a year. We haven't seen her yet. So yeah, he takes out this guy to. This guy takes Denji out to a cafe, you know, and he starts talking about. Well, first of all, this guy's like, "Isn't that my school uniform?" And he's like, "Yeah, I mean, you know, we come to the same school. I belong to an organization that's tasked me with keeping an eye on you." And he's like, "Ugh, all right." And Squid Boy reveals that like it's not an evil organization. Our goal is to simply ensure that you live a peaceful life.
Yo, he straight up asked him, "Are you stalking me?" He just said, "Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit.
pretty much." He said, "When you put it that way, you aren't exactly wrong." Nigga, yes, you're stalking him.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, yeah, right. Like you said, like, hey, how you work for an organization? Their whole job is to watch you.
Yeah. I guess that's what happens when you're the most powerful devil ever, I guess. When you're the chainsaw man, you got to have people who watch you.
Who's funding this? Is this paid with tax dollars?
Probably. Who knows? But in any case, he's basically telling Denji is just like, yo, you got to chill with this fucking chainsaw man. You can't, people can't find out it's you. And he's like, what's going to happen if I'm found out? And Squid Boy is just like, if your secret identity is exposed, I won't let you eat this cake. And he takes all the utensils, and he's like, I won't let you have the ice cream, orange juice, spaghetti, or pudding you ordered either. And Denji is just like, give me those. But after he can't get him, he just like stares at the cake and starts eating it with his hands. And Squid Boy's like,
he slices into it.
Yeah, he just goes. And Squid Boy's like, shit. All right. And
right, he's stunned. He couldn't believe it.
He's like, oh man. He's like, look, man, we just don't want you turning into Chainsaw Man. You know, the life you have now will fall apart if you get found out. And he's like, why are you fighting devils as Chainsaw Man anyway? You're not a good person, it seems.
You don't strike me as an altruist.
And you know, he's not entirely wrong. Denji reveals that he says, I fight because I want the people to find out that I'm Chainsaw Man. And Squid Boy is just in disbelief from here to the rest of this chapter. And he's like, why? And he says, because once my secret's out, the ladies will be all over me. Consistent.
Very consistent.
Yeah, and
he's dead ass too.
He's like, what? He said that's... And that's where the chapter ends with Squid Boy just like, what the fuck?
He's in check.
Yeah, I mean...
Not checkmate, but he's like,
Man. All right.
What I am in a weird situation. His whole setup. I guess I'm getting into my thoughts.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Josh. Chapter. What did you think
I'll
about
just
this
continue.
chapter?
His whole setup was to talk to him so that he would not become Chainsaw Man. And he literally like, no, that's it. No, like he doesn't want him to become Chainsaw Man so that people won't find out who Chainsaw Man is, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like that he just wants the exact fucking opposite. It's moments like this with Chainsaw Man where it's like, all right, I've learned to expect crazy stuff, right? But it's just narratively, right? The way Denji is still so solid to his core, and how the way he listened to everything he had to say and still plainly was like, it was the order of how he said it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like that's cool. My plan, as a matter of fact, is to fuck around and have them find me out because I need these bitches. I need pussy.
I need to get laid pronto.
Pronto. And
Yeah.
honestly, you kind of annoy me taking my utensils away and shit.
But you don't know who I am. I will eat with my hands.
Right. And then I will saw your fucking head in half and take a picture of it for Instagram. And hopefully the bitches will love it.
Basically.
Denji would be red pill. We had to accept that reality.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
I don't think he'd be a grifter. He'd be a grifty.
Well, I don't think Denji believes in anything enough to be red pilled. You know?
Fair enough. He doesn't hate himself.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big component there.
Yeah. I don't think he has like a philosophical leaning towards anything outside of his interest of eating good food and getting laid.
Yeah, just pure human desire.
Yeah. I don't know. Were those all your thoughts on the chapter?
I suppose. I thought it was just really funny. It was really well put together. I like the interviews leading into Denji. I like his new look. He looks a lot more mature. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the way. I think it's the art itself. I don't really think it's anything to do with like any features on him. I think he's just drawn different. Damn, I don't have a better way to describe this. What do you think about it? Do you see the difference?
He's got a little more confidence in the world. You know, he's not just like this street urchin anymore. He's got his.
I think maybe his hair is longer too.
It's also the school uniform. You know, he's like dressed in people clothes. But yeah, I don't know. He's like happy. I guess that's what it is. He's like relatively happy. As happy as you could be in this situation, I suppose. Yeah, I thought this chapter was kind of interesting. It was a very straightforward chapter. It really is just kind of like more introducing us to what Denji has become in the last time skip since Chainsaw Man Part 1 ended. So, you know, he's very much like kind of a polarizing figure, but most people seem to be huge fans of him, as it seems. I don't know who the organization is. I think that's going to be interesting down the road. I don't know what stake they necessarily have in Denji, but I guess you don't have to reach very far to find one. I mean, he is like, anybody who knows Devils intimately knows that Chainsaw Man is probably like a pretty big deal in the world of Devils in general. And he was the person who defeated Makima at the end of the day, which is someone who had like the president of the United States under lock and key, basically. So it'd be hard not to know about him if you're an interested party. Yeah, and it is just kind of like continuing to establish Denji's character again, just like kind of familiarize us with him and what he's about. This is him from the very beginning, you know. He is just kind of like
straight up.
Yeah, he doesn't let people get really in the way of what he wants, even if he has to kind of like do what is not societally classy, like put his entire hand, use his hand as a cake knife, and then eat a cake with his bare hands. It's very much on his brand. Yeah, it all makes sense. I don't know. But I enjoyed this chapter. It was very kind of simple, but I'm excited to see where it goes next. I don't have that much to say about Chainsaw Man this week. It was pretty crazy.
Man, he went fucking crazy at the cafe. Did you pay attention?
Yeah.
Like, he said ice cream, orange juice, a whole cake, and spaghetti. What the hell?
Yeah, that's a lot of food.
He threw in the spaghetti after this guy asked for iced coffee.
Yeah, his spaghetti.
Like you asked for a whole fucking entree as an add-on.
I mean, I guess it makes sense for Denji.
Oh yeah,
And a plate of spaghetti after my dessert of shortcake.
It's the way he brings out Denji, the fact that the Squid Man, I don't know why we're calling him that.
I don't remember his name.
Does he have squid powers?
Yeah, he like summons like a squid demon to help him.
Okay.
Or octopus.
But
or something.
the way he puts his finger up and he's like plus a nice coffee, and Denji just, I guess because he talks after him, he decides to put 2 fingers up and say spaghetti because it's not the second item, that he asked for. I guess maybe it's its second entree, but do you even consider a cake an entree? That's like,
no, it's a dessert for sure. I don't think it's
right.
I mean, I'm no chef, but I would imagine that a cake isn't necessarily an entree. I could be wrong about that. Let us know if cakes can be entrees.
Can cakes be entrees?
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Well, I'm good if you're good. You're good?
Yeah, I'm ready to move on.
All right. That was Chainsaw Man. Pretty good chapter, to be honest. But excited for what's to come next. Let's move onward. Jujutsu Kaisen. And
who with it now?
Yeah. I'm going to toss it over to Josh after this little drop. Who with it now? Go for it, Josh.
All right, we got Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 196, Sakurajima Colony, part 6. Oh, interesting. 196, part 6.
Ooh.
That's nice. I like that.
That is nice.
A lot of things happened last chapter. So many things that I'm going to ask Christian really quick to recap that for me.
Well, last we left off, we had Daido introduced, the wandering samurai, desperately looking for a katana. He's the katana guy, and he just like pulls up to the battle after Maki and Noritoshi have been pushed to the ropes, basically. And he just comes out of nowhere, throws Maki's sword away from her, and just starts slicing into Naoya, despite the fact that he doesn't seem to have any cursed energy or the ability to see curses in general. So he lands pretty devastating blows on Naoya before... And notice, and he talks about how he can see things by seeing everything else. And Maki is just like, what the fuck does that mean? You know?
Right.
And it was
that's what's on her mind now.
Yeah, as the other guy, well, the other sorcerer that pulls up, I guess his name is Mio, he starts a simple domain that is basically a sumo ring. And that's where we left off.
Right. So Maki starts backing up into simple domain / sumo ring set up by Mio, and he's like, "Damn, like you looking like you real anxious and all that. Like you need to get loose and maybe play some sumo.
Have a sumo
maybe, huh? Perhaps.
Want to play some sumo?
Perhaps." So no, he asks her, "Do you like sumo? Then how about we have a sumo bout?" And he's been hearing no. For I don't know how long this colony's been running around for, but since the beginning of that, since the very moment he was brought back to life in this era, in this game, he has been hearing no about sumo wrestling. So you can imagine how Mio, that's his name, how Mio must have felt when finally someone said, "Okay, fine," and it's like, so what if it's this charbroiled young woman. You know what I'm saying? Who's probably never sumo wrestled in her life. He'll take. That's what I like about Mio. You know what I mean? He's not picky. He likes what he likes.
Yeah.
Feel me? He knows he wants to sumo wrestle, and that's that. Okay, let me stop. So he gets super duper excited as the barrier erupts. I thought that was a nice little touch. I thought it was just gonna stay as like a sumo ring, and that was gonna be that, which would have been cool enough. But them going into like this little arena was dope. I think it kind of plays a role in Maki being able to think about things a little bit clearer. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So like mentioned before, Maki's been thinking about how what the swordsman, the sorcerer swordsman without cursed energy. What's his name?
Dido.
Was able to like swing with such power, like such raw strength. And I guess like how was he able to use like the heavenly restriction? So that's still on her mind. And as they begin their sumo match, Maki charges towards Mio, and Mio, he knows he catches that he I guess his opposite. I guess everyone has observation haki in Jujutsu Kaisen, and at least in this colony. But yeah, he knows that he's about to get fucking destroyed head on if he goes into this girl. So he thigh steps her, busts a little turn, and throws her to the ground. Nice! That's a point. Nice. I think I should have looked up how sumo works. I'm pretty sure he won that round, though. He got a W. He did something. He scored or...
Something happened. I mean, I think...
He did something to advance him winning.
I suppose so. I think like it's more you got to push him out of the ring. So I guess maybe he did earn a score of some sort, but...
I mean, boxing, you could get points for hitting people a certain way and doing things.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
That's possible.
Maybe it's not boxing though.
Hey, maybe you get points for doing
anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't.
I'm giving him fucking points, bro.
All right,
he get New Jump City sumo points.
He does get New Jump City sumo points.
Yes. All right. He says, "I love sumo, but you way more gangster than that, right? I mean, shit. I was scared before. I don't know what happened after that." So I guess basically he notices that something's wrong, and he's like, why can't you focus? Like, what's going on in your head? And we get this little excerpt from the narrator where he brings up the fact that Maki never really had a teacher. I guess not like a specialized teacher, like a master, so to speak, right? The same way Itadori had Gojo. And I don't know who that other guy is. I forget.
That's one of the other teachers. But I guess he
was someone else's.
That's one of the other teachers at the school.
Right.
I remember him vaguely.
Right. So because everyone else had cursed energy, and she was the only one that fought without it. So she didn't have anyone to relate to with that, which makes sense. And so they say how it's not like she never seeked it out, or like had an issue with it. It's just that I guess like she's not the type to just like stop doing something because of like people not extending a hand. She's self-motivated, so that's just kind of what always pushed her. So I guess even just this small moment of another person again, I'm getting ahead of myself, but let me just continue with the pages. So, there's that to think about. So perhaps we're about to learn she's about to learn something from the sumo guy. It's like he could read her mind because he's bringing up how the samurai says something about, he didn't say exactly, but he remembers what the samurai said to her. And he's like, all right, I got you. I'm going to let you know how I feel about it, but I can't say it in words because I'm orally challenged. Therefore, I'm going to communicate via the art of sumo wrestling.
Hell yeah.
And we got a really cool 2-page spread. I think it's way better to look at it in that style.
Yeah, in landscape.
And I'm just going to read it word for word. He says, you've become entangled, girl. And she responds, in what? He says, yourself, others, curses, and basically people. Which I guess is the same shit in their world.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's 2 phone drops, guys, if we're counting.
Can't go one episode without one. Can't go one episode without a phone drop.
Yeah. Shout outs to my ghetto setup. Anyway, so he says, yourself, others, curses, basically people. But isn't sumo about grappling? Yes. In the ring, one person clashes with another in an intense back and forth. The wrestlers themselves, however, develop outside the ring. Pressing your opponent in the ring requires stepping outside the ring, even though you actually can't. At the moment of impact, everything that led up to entering the ring flows into the combatant. and he explains that basically you sense everything about your opponent and yourself, you know, and I'm not going to continue to read it word for word, but he essentially says that this all leads to freedom, right? And in my words, I believe like the point he's trying to make is that like when you're in any craft, you know, like anything that like you kind of like put your heart in, whether that's like a hobby or your job or something like that, everything you do outside of it influences the person you are, therefore influences how you're going to react in that, you know, doing that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you could look at it with sumo, like, all right, obviously you could look at the analogy of training, like, okay, you need to do your exercise and stay committed to that in order to be a good athlete in the sumo. But you could also look at it as far as the things you learn in life, the obstacles you face mentally that can help you deal with, you know, hardships in the ring. Because a lot of the time, man, like when it comes to something physical, you can will your body past the point that you never thought you could, you know, given certain situations. I don't know how that works biologically. I know that's a real thing. You know, it has something to do with adrenaline, I guess. But you get the point. Like the mental aspect of like a sport or a physical, any physical hobby matters so much, you know? So I guess that's what he's trying to explain to her. Like you too focus on your fighting skill. You need to just kind of like take a deep breath and realize that your fighting is a culmination of all these other intricacies. You know what I'm saying? How well you can, you know, like read their moves, how you could see their emotional state, their environment around you, you know, the weather, like all these other things that seemingly wouldn't matter, but you know, you incorporate them. And I guess that unlocks you being able to slash houses in half. Pretty lit. And freedom.
And freedom.
All right. So now they do some sumo, and we get a shot to the other three people, the swordsman Noritoshi and Weirdo Naoya Curse Spirit TM. They both witness as Mio's barrier breaks, and she defeated him in a sumo match while he was at his best. They're in trouble.
Yeah, no, that's Maki saying that she's at her best.
Oh, she's saying that.
Yeah.
I thought he was saying I'm at my best, as in like he lost at his best. And he can't believe it.
No, yeah, I think the word bubble points in a weird direction, but I think this is supposed to be Maki.
You're right.
Yeah.
I'm willing to believe you on that one. Okay. This was my RGC.
Oh, it was also mine. This is a unified, really good chapter of the week.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
Yeah, you got some thoughts on this chapter, Christian?
Yes, I absolutely adored this chapter, man. Top to bottom. I just like, for one thing, on the surface level, I'm a really big fan of this like philosophy and sports type of thing. I think this is one of those things that make like sports manga really great when they're great. You know, Haikyuu, Aishio 21, Hajime no Ippo, they all have this kind of thing that correlate the taking care of your mental state and your spiritual state to achieve a higher control of your body during these, I guess, athletic, for lack of a better term, exercises. So in general, I love that shit. I just love that kind of like philosophizing. I'm kind of a sucker for it. And this was pretty great nonetheless. But I feel like there was just so much with this that was so tied to Maki's character. It's so funny how like a lot of the best seasons of Jujutsu Kaisen are very much tied to Maki. There's a lot of like love and affinity for this character that I feel on behalf of Akutami. That, you know, she gets like a type of development that the others don't get. And especially because she is the underdog character of the entire series. She came up in a family that didn't really respect or love her because of her faults, her inability to tap into cursed energy and see cursed spirits. And she's come a long way to being one of the most dangerous fucking people in this series. And she was already nice before the Shibuya arc. So it's really cool to see that. I think a lot of the stuff that he talks about with freedom, in terms of freedom and allowing yourself to step out of the ring and let all these other influences cascade into you, I think it's very interesting in terms of Maki, because when you look at the power system of Jujutsu as a whole, it's a very rigid and rules-based power system. You know, everybody has their own rules of engagement. From top, whether it's the curse techniques to domains, there's different like approaches, and there's these very stagnant rules on how to defeat people, and people with heavenly restriction tend to be looked at as like dangerous and outsiders. We see it with Toji, Fushiguro, or not yeah, I think he was a Zenin, but you know what I mean. Zenin, he was like a heavenly restricted guy, and everybody feared him. Because once you master that, you kind of like break through this kind of like weird traditional thing that exists within the Jujutsu world. And there's a lot of talk of these like old conservative heads, you know, the heads of the Jujutsu world that like things a certain way, and Gojo betting on Itadori and his generation to be the ones to bring the Jujutsu world into a new era where it's not like exclusionary or shitty, you know what I mean? And
Right.
Maki is kind of the poster child for that, because she comes so far despite the fact that her entire life is based on rules and more rules when it comes to family dynamics and power systems and battle in general. So yeah, I mean, there was a lot here, you know.
Yeah.
And I very much appreciated this chapter for that. I love this chapter a lot. This is one of my favorite chapters of the whole series in general. Not to mention, it looks so fucking cool. There's like that 2-page spread where Mio's talking about smelling light or seeing sound. Such a great fucking well drawn. Where like there was a lot of.
It's one of those things that's hard to explain too.
Yeah, but you
like,
get it.
Like you kind of have to just know. Yeah, you kind of.
Yeah.
You felt it. Everyone's felt it before. You just had to pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, this was so good. Jujutsu Kaisen is so fucking good, and I've known Mio for 2 chapters. Again, just like a dope character. Everybody in the culling game has kind of a different motivation. Some people operate like they're not really even playing it. There's a chance that Mio doesn't even know that he's in the culling game, because he just stepped into a barrier and now there he is. So it is super interesting to see how this develops and what this means for Maki's character. I cannot wait for her to sumo the fuck out of Naoya after this. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I thought this was a great chapter. But yeah, Josh, what did you think though?
Well, like I said, this was my favorite chapter of the week because I had a lot of depth to it. Even as I just scrolled through these pages, there's so much variety. There's action, there's character growth, there's a lesson learned, you know what I mean? There's this, I'm going to show the panel real quick. But for those listening, you can go to chapter 196, pages 12 and 13. That looks like you could put a poster. That's a poster to me.
Yeah.
Even though, maybe if you could remove the words and just leave it like that, I just think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it I didn't understand it all the way. I didn't know how I was supposed to follow it and all of that. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made a lot of great points already about Maki and about her role and what she kind of represents, and I agree with all of that. It's just I really like when characters have these moments about their strength when I remember it was like Naruto had a similar moment when they were talking about, when he was learning about uh, um, the natural chakra
Right,
or whatever,
right,
using
right.
the natural energy like to fight, and how he started becoming a little bit more at peace with himself and more confident. And it's cool because sometimes it's not an over exaggeration. Like I mentioned earlier, your mental state matters so much more than like it controls everything, all your actions.
Yeah. Especially in a super
I guess
magic
that's
death match.
for sure. For sure. No,
Yeah.
this was a really good chapter.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's one of my favorites, but this was from the series, but it was top notch for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. Maybe it's hyperbole on my part too, but I can't deny how I feel. But that's all I gotta say. I could gush about this forever, but what would be the point in that? Are you all set to move on?
Yup.
All right. Well, that was Jujutsu Kaisen. Let us move onward. Black Clover. This is Black Clover, chapter 336, The Final Enemy. We're getting there, guys.
Mm-hmm.
This last we left off, Asta was poofed out of existence. It seemed by the sister, whose name I don't remember. I don't think they ever really revealed her. I think she was just known as Sister, who poofed him out of existence under the control of Lucius, the second personality of the Wizard King Julius, who has the ability of soul magic. So we learned that his intention is to create these paladins to basically bring in a new era of evil magic people and take over the world. And they saw Asta as a flaw in the world because he did not have any magic. So they were like, let's get rid of this asshole. And they did that. So
Immediately.
yeah, Sister was given the spatial magic that belonged to Beelzebub, if I'm remembering correctly. And yeah, he just went away. He said, the final arc will really kick off in 7 days. Yeah, and this chapter picks up where that left off, as we get a surprise return from Yuno.
Yo,
Hey,
from
hey,
the
hey.
Spade Kingdom.
Did he come from the Spade Kingdom?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think he's just arriving.
Yeah, he just pulled up, and they report to him basically what happened. And they're just like, they're still in shock that Asta was defeated and definitely killed for sure. He's dead. So Yami calls Noct, and he's like, he basically, Noct knows what time it is, knows what they're going to ask. And Noct explains that he's able to travel to the shadow of anyone he chooses, but he can't find Asta's, which means he's either in another dimension, on another continent, or he's dead. So, not a lot of great options either way.
Right.
So, yeah, the wizard, the magic captain, the magic knight captains are kind of like discussing amongst themselves what's going on. Kind of exchanging intel. They're like, if he's so gratis, then he's in blood relationship to the Dark Triad, which they all just defeated. So he's able to control the devils at will, and his power was greater than theirs. And on top of that, he's got Lucifero's magic power and the time magic. So, he's OP, dudes. He's fucking OP.
He is. He controls everything.
Yeah. So, mentions that when he went to go investigate that suspected devil activity, he found that one devil whose name I will remember once they say it again. And they found all the devils, but, the supreme devil that was there kind of stood by and watched as they fought all these other big time devils. And yeah, it's not great. And this is all kind of information.
He tore them up.
Yeah, this this is all kind of information we know from here. You know, they're like suspecting that he has mind control because of his soul magic, and that they took over the nuns' power. So they're like, shit. So Judgment Day. So people will attack us a week from now, and Yuno's basically like, hey, we've got no choice. We got to fight. And we get a little flashback to when Yuno was first promoted, and Asta was just like, it makes me mad that you got ahead of me, but you know what? I'm going to catch up because I'm going to be the wizard king. He doesn't say that, but he's like, I'm going to surpass you, Yuno. And
That's the bio.
So Yuno's just like, as far as I'm concerned, he was always ahead of me. You know, and if Asta's dead and he's not coming back, then I'll pass him up. And we cut over to the bad guys' headquarters, where it looks like fucking Lucius. I get their names mixed up still. I'm not used to it. Lucius seems to have three other people besides the sisters there. I'm willing to bet one of them is Damnatio, the judge guy.
You think so?
It looks like him.
Yeah, a little bit.
It could be that he didn't kill him, but turned him over to his side.
Touched his soul. Yeah.
Yeah, touched his soul. But yeah. Okay, so the devil's name is Adramelech. And he comes in and he's like, I swear I never would have believed that human could level up that much in just a year and a few months. And he explains that Yuno absolutely destroyed all the high-level devils instantly. And
what? It's so pretentious.
He's like, oh, yes, I've seen it in the future. There's just one where they have an advantage, and the key to it is the singularity with the two grimoires, one from the spade and the other with a four-leaf clover. The child of the elf leader, Sylph's chosen one, and the rightful heir to the Spade Kingdom throne, Yuno Grinbarial. For the sake of world peace, we'll crush him. And
wait. Yuno is the child of an elf leader?
Looks like it.
Oh yeah, he has elf in him, right? That's why
so.
he's like beloved by Mana and all that.
Yeah, something like that. And
Crazy.
Yuno gets to finish his sentence. He says, I'll take Lucius out and become the Wizard King. And then we cut to a beach somewhere, and Asta is laid face down in the sand, his grimoire right beside him. And there is a dark figure standing above him saying, well, hey, there he is. And it looks like, oh my God, he's alive. I'm looking for my drama music. He's alive. Ooh.
Oh, the copy ability guy?
No, I meant Asta, but.
Oh.
Okay, so I have a couple theories of where Asta could be. But Josh, why don't you start off by telling us what you thought about this chapter?
So I want to say that this was I guess it was my runner-up. I really like Chainsaw Man too, though. I was between this and Chainsaw Man for the runner-up. Regardless, I think that the author really handled the tone well in the first part of the chapter. I mean, the way he made everyone's faces look. I mean, shout out to Asta's little harem over there. I didn't even realize it. Is she part of it now too?
Who is?
Tsundere-kun.
Oh yeah, always. She's like the captain.
I didn't know it. She's in love with Asta too.
Wait, Noelle or?
No.
Noelle.
Oh, she's a tsundere also.
No,
the other girl, the other one on the right.
No, Nero is not a tsundere, but I don't know if she's like.
Not?
No, I think she's just like really close with Asta because she was like on his head this whole time. I don't know. I could be wrong. It could all just be his harem.
The way he drew like Yami too, that was intense.
Yeah, Yami's pissed.
I was like, damn, he pulling on that cigarette. And then a few pages later, you see them. I knew it. And then a few pages later, you see the how many cigarettes he's crushed at just that location alone during this meeting.
That's not good
From
for
the
you.
span of Asta dying to Yuno coming here, that's how many he's killed.
Hey,
I don't know how long it's been.
Don't smoke, kids. It's bad for you.
Yeah, cigarettes are really bad. Don't do it, guys.
Especially not that much.
Even grown-ups.
Hey, grown-ups.
Don't do it either.
I'm talking to you,
You
grown-ups.
too. Cancer is whack.
Yeah.
Fuck cancer.
You're right, Josh. Cancer.
Fuck cancer.
That is the that is the official New Jump City stance. Cancer's whack.
Cancer's whack, bro. Anyway, yeah. See, got him stressed out that he's going face first into the cancer, face first into throat cancer, bro.
Yeah.
Can't wait. But regardless, he may have sacrificed Yami's lungs and throats, but he did effectively get the tone across, and I thought that was good. I think even the line with Yuno saying, as far as I'm concerned, he was always the one that was ahead of me, and it's crazy because he's right. He always had the magic and shit, but Asta was always that nigga. Everyone could do magic. Who the fuck could do 100 push-ups at 12?
That's true.
I don't know. How old are they? 14?
I can't do 100 push-ups now.
There you go. Bodybuilders can do it, but they're not mad young.
No.
And he was doing mad other shit too. You get it. He's a fake person because he's a character, but it still has merit.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I just thought it was a really effective line, and yeah, I like how they made it. All right. Oh, also, I was wondering, just so I'm not overthinking this, when he sees the key to it is the singularity with two grimoires, one from the Spade Kingdom and the other with a 4-leaf clover. Yuno has a 4-leaf clover book?
Yeah, Yuno has 2 grimoires.
Yeah.
One of them is a 4-leaf clover that I believe he got when he got his grimoire initially, but then he got that second one, which I believe is his star magic. So
Okay, right. Because I'm not gonna. I thought he was just implying that there was only 2 people that could give an issue. One was Asta, and the other was Yuno. But I think what this is. All right, so this is what's kind of cool. That's what I wanted to point out. He had to remove Asta, or it was not gonna work. It was, you know what I'm saying. Almost in all situations, he would fail.
mm-hmm.
In almost all situations, he would fail. If Asta was not, dealt with immediately.
Yeah.
But with it's like, yeah, we are most likely going to win, and he's really the only thing they have. So we're going to hyper focus on that. So they have no chance.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool little detail. I guess maybe it was super duper obvious, but well said. I wonder who this guy on the beach is. Maybe it's Yami's dad. And you're going to say, please tell my son to stop
Smoking.
I was just going to say, stop what?
Smoking. It's bad for you. You understand X amount of people die a year from cigarette smoke?
Do they even cause of throat cancer?
Yeah. I guess I could get into my thoughts if you're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
I don't have all that many thoughts. It was like kind of a lot of information that we already had. But it was cool to see that Yuno is still badass and he was able to like just basically dispatch a whole bunch of high devils pretty quickly. So good for Yuno. But yeah, it was all right chapter. A lot of information being said and a lot of conviction being had. The last 2 pages are very interesting. My theory is that Asta went to where Yami is from.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I said Yami's dad.
Yeah.
He didn't come from nowhere.
No, yeah, he came from this other land where I don't know if they necessarily use magic, but that's where all the talk of ki comes from.
They use dark.
No, I mean, like, that's where all the talk of, like, ki comes from with Yami, and he taught it to Asta. So I think Asta's going to pick up something new from this land and bring it over to the Clover Kingdom. But
that'd be sick.
Yeah, I mean, they keep building up that land, that land that Yami's from. So
it has been. Yeah, you're right.
I can't imagine that this ain't it. There's no way that this isn't it. They can't build it up for so long and then just be like, we'll never show it. So in that case, yeah, I mean, I like this chapter well enough. I should mention, though, that this was the really good chapter of the week from the audience poll.
Certified RGC.
What's the story behind it? Because you made it seem like this is now 5 weeks in a row, by the way. It is on fucking fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much of a story, but when I initially put out the poll, My Hero Academia was actually winning handedly.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was pretty much far and away, like, winning. And then I haven't looked at it since, like, noon, and then I looked at it before the show started. And then my Black Clover won by, like, 1%. It just, like, beat.
Wow.
It was pretty crazy. So, damn. Black Clover fans coming out in full force once again. I respect it. But yeah, there you go. If you guys want to vote on your favorite chapter and stop Black Clover's streak for the last like 5 weeks, you can vote on our poll on at New Jump City on Twitter. I usually put it up a few hours after the chapters drop on the Viz official website. So, you know, do the thing. But yeah, I can see how people could see this is the best chapter. I personally am just like, there was a lot. I guess it's because Yuno's back. That's the only thing I can think of. I feel like if Yuno wasn't in this chapter, My Hero probably would have taken that poll instead, I guess. But at the end of the day, it was fine. It was good to see Yuno again. I think, you know, we're in for more stuff next week. So, you know,
Yeah.
it is just kind of like an informational thing, setting up the stakes, all that stuff, and revealing where Asta's been. So, I'm excited for what comes next. Any closing thoughts?
No, man, I'm very excited for what's coming next, too. I can't wait for some more training and some more fighting.
Fighting! All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, in that case, I guess we can move onward. Undead Unlock.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking this one again this week. Thanks for having me,
yeah.
guys. Well, we got chapter number 125, 11 minutes. Funny thing about that, we'll get into it later.
All right.
So, last week, Juice was breaking down how she basically created Andy with her own hands by lodging her debit card into the debit card artifact known as Remember into the forehead of Victor. It's Victor.
No,
but
I think it's
Victor.
Victor with a K. I could be wrong, but I think it's Victor.
It's something weird.
No,
it's
it says Victor.
I swear to fucking
No,
God.
he spells it Victor. He
It's
spells it
something
regular.
weird.
It's regular Victor.
Then why? Why do I keep doing this?
Maybe it was like in the very beginning before they got their
Maybe it
act
spells it
together.
weird one time.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Because I remember. I don't think you're crazy. I remember.
And it left a wound.
Yeah.
Left a psychological scar.
Yeah, it really messed with us for weeks.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Yeah. Yeah, last week, Juice explains how she created Andy. And basically we learned about how Andy felt about his entire life up until this point. And it was very sweet, very sad, very dramatic. And we love these characters a little bit more because of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being facetious here.
Are you?
No, I'm not. I'm honestly, it's a lot of care into these characters and their motivations. Because really, Andy was just kind of this weirdo out there, you know. And now it's like, oh, well, yes, he was driven to madness because of the endless cycle of friends dying and him dying and other things happening, like technology being made and old technology not working anymore. It probably really fucked with him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel for him. But anyway, we get back to, they're in the room and they're like, yeah, it's Morbin fucking time. Let's hop on this arc and take it to the next world and make everybody remember what's good so we could win. And we have a lot of conversation. That's all I can really say for this chapter.
Yeah. Apocalypse. Apocalypse comes through and is like, new
Right,
loop
right.
user,
He goes full tsundere, and he's like, yeah, y'all thought shit was gonna be sweet. Well, guess what? It's not. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's it.
And Huis is just like, I thought you were nice. And Apocalypse is like, no, I was not nice.
See my pointy teeth and my long tongue? There's no way. There's no way. I have the characteristics of a goblin.
Yeah.
It's inherently evil. I digress. No, like she takes a moment to thank him for always, because she was with Apocalypse for mad long. If you think about it,
yeah, forever, basically.
And she was always the one looping, so that's why he even came out in the first place, to be like, to talk shit to her about passing it on to Fuko. But she don't know how much pain Fuko. He don't know about Fuko's life. He better fucking relax. So, you know, he starts to break down that there's some conditions they got to meet before they actually ride the arc. First of all, they need some points, and he was like, ha 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 ha, you a dub. You ain't earned no fucking points because y'all only killed 2 Umas and captured the other 2, and I guess everything else that happened in the series was meaningless as far as points go. Yeah. Until Victor pulls up and he's like, nah, take my points. I've had a bunch for
4 billion years.
And billions and billions and more billions. More billions.
More billions.
Morbius.
Morbin.
Morbius make more billion dollars.
Morbin time?
How old is this fucking meme, bro? Like, we need to grow up and get past this.
How old is
anyway?
It? I hope it lasts forever.
Yo, my coworker said, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I'm dead on luck, fan. My coworker was like, bro, like, that shit was all right. That was the only person I heard said anything fucking positive about that movie.
Listen.
And I don't think he really cared about the movie.
Well, look.
I don't.
I haven't seen it, so I'm not gonna You
didn't see it, bro? Me neither.
Fucking of course not.
How can we talk all? Well, I guess I'm the one talking shit. Whatever. This is going on long enough.
Yeah.
Victor transfers his points to Fuko Izumo. And I guess this is God is like, oh, so that's how y'all niggas feel. All right. Activate endgame.
Yeah.
He was feeling some kind of way. He said this will be the turning point for everything.
No, that's not God. That's Luna. I think that's literally the moon.
Oh.
But anyway.
Oh. Okay. Excuse me. See, this is why this podcast is good. We all get educated and learn things about our favorite series.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, they're thanking each other. They're saying, like, all right, you're qualified, you know, good and happiness, holding hands and shit. And then Apocalypse pulls up and he's like, well, guess what? You got to fucking wait because because y'all have 11 members now, y'all have to wait 1 minute per member, which... Did Juice notice before? I don't think she never brought this up.
I don't think so either. But you know,
it's fine though. It's fine.
I guess it doesn't really matter. What's 1 minute?
I guess. Well, yeah. What is 1 minute, right? What if it's 1 extra minute facing the apocalypse?
That's true,
guys. I'm looking at a picture of multiple explosions going off on top of the Earth. And judging by the size and radius in circumference to the planet, I can tell that those are nuclear bombs. So the fact that 3 went off on the planet at the same time means that most people will die.
Oh yeah.
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
I mean, if any of those was anywhere close to Japan, it's GG.
Yeah, I think you're getting ahead of yourself.
Maybe Unbreakable can. Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, I think you're getting ahead of yourself, though.
Am I getting ahead of myself?
Yeah, because after we revealed that it's going to take 11 minutes, basically Fuko and Huis say their goodbyes. Oh,
right. I am getting ahead of myself.
Yeah. But in any case, she's just like, Victor told me that I was just like you, Miss Huis, and I wondered why, in what way, but Mr. Victor went on to explain. He said that I was I was stumpy with a tanuki face, but I was heedless of danger. So, you know, he's like, I know that much is true, that we're the same in that way. And thanks to the union, and it's thanks to the union that I got to be this way after all.
Oh, yeah, I guess I kind of glanced over this stuff. There was a lot of heartfelt, like I said, there's a lot of conversation in this chapter.
Yeah. And, she basically is just like, thanks for everything, bro. Thanks for basically building this cool thing where all my friends are at. Yeah, basically.
Where I've met people and gained a life.
Yeah. And Huis is like, no problem, bro. As she also cries, basically.
Yeah, they must both be Pisces.
Yeah.
Apparently they're crybabies.
Mm-hmm. Huis throws on her fucking helmet and is like, please have faith and wait here. Yeah, that's when Apocalypse reveals that it's going to be 11 minutes. And Ragnarok is already happening. That's the gigantic explosions that Josh mentioned earlier. God is just tearing Earth apart at this point.
Going fucking crazy. I think 10 minutes is a lot. I think 11 is absurd.
I mean, it could be. Maybe I'm bugging. But yeah. She's basically, then Huis goes off and she's like, up until now, I would always sit and watch my allies venture off to their demises. But now I can finally fight. And Huis goes off as she says, I'll be off now, boss. I will risk my life alongside the others and make sure you go through that loop. And that's where the chapter ends. So yeah, Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
I didn't care for it too much.
Really?
I thought, like,
Whoa.
two things happened. Yeah, this is actually one of the few chapters. This, you know, I've been really enjoying Undead Unluck. I generally do, but I'm just like, all right, like, let's go. You know, I didn't need another scene of Fuko. You know, I feel like this has all been said already.
Not wrong.
You know, like, I get it. I love each other and care about each other. Our friends, you know, I'm kind of over it. And I'm ready to see what's about to happen on the other side of this loop.
Yeah.
So we gotta wait another 11 minutes, and in 11 manga minutes could be months in human years, real life human.
That's
time.
true. That is true.
So I don't know what to expect. Are they gonna fight? Are they gonna hold off? Julie says she's. Oh my god. Julie says she's gonna go out and fight against the Judgment. What are you gonna do? Slice an atom bomb in half?
Well, she's got injustice, so she's got a negation. It's not she doesn't have any powers.
She's going to negate. She can't negate God's justice. Maybe she can.
Maybe.
Oh, that would be sick, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know.
Imagine she realizes, oh no, I could have killed God all alone, and then all along. Oh no, because everyone's gonna remember, so it's okay.
Whoops. I guess I could have done. Oh wow!
All this time.
Oh, I guess I should have come out. 4 billion years wasted.
More billion years. Yo, that is hilarious. But other than that, I don't really have that much to say. I don't want to sound negative about it because there's different standards and levels that we hold different manga to.
Yeah. I agree with you, honestly. I didn't really think about it that way, but I was like, you know what? You're right. We did hear this, like, friendship talk a lot already. So I was like, all right, let's get a move on. It's the same kind of thing we kind of had for not My Hero. It was another series that has this kind of similar problem where it's like, oh, no, yeah, it is a little bit for My Hero, where we're just, whenever, like, All For One gets on screen and he's just like, I just hate society. And we're just like, all right, let's go.
But my plans and schemes have schemes and plans.
Yeah. Multi-layer schemes and plans. But, yeah. I don't know. It was a fine chapter. It just wasn't, like, incredible to me, honestly. I agree with Josh. It is getting a little, like, all right, we get it. Because every Undead Unluck arc is like this. So, it's like eating a lot of sweets, you know? Like I'm starting to get a stomach.
Yeah, like all right.
All right, God.
I mean, Jesus, we just had an emotional moment. We learned how Juice created Andy.
Yeah, maybe that's
Like-
what it is. Maybe we're just like emotionally exhausted by Undead Unluck at this point, where it's like, how many times are you gonna try to make us cry? You can't keep you can't keep doing it.
It's
before
the
it gets
fucking
tired.
crying games.
Yeah, we had
You ever
like
seen that?
we had like big moments in a row. We had like Nico, Billy, the stuff with Huis, and now we finally have Fuko being like, I'm just like you. And it's like,
Right, she's got the waterworks going too. It's like,
come on, bro.
hold yourself together. You're supposed to be the stoic Power Ranger.
Yeah,
Because the helmet.
yeah.
So that's 3. That's 3, guys.
This is the third time Josh.
Can
has
I get a
dropped
drop
this.
for that?
Yeah, we gotta get a phone.
Get it?
Oh.
By accident.
All right. Well, that's all I gotta say about Dead of Luck. Do you any rebuttals? Anything else?
Nah.
Well, in that case,
I can't wait for them to loop.
Oh, I can't wait for them to loop. It's gonna be 3 more.
I can wait.
It's gonna be 3 more chapters
to loop.
before they loop.
Bro, Chris, bro. When they fucking loop, bro.
Yeah.
When they fucking loop, bro.
What about, bro?
It's gonna be crazy.
It's
I hope they loop in time for chapter 2 for episode 200.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're waiting for us to reach 200. That's 10 weeks from now, by the way. We're hitting 10. We're on the road. 10 weeks to 200. But in any case, maybe 9 because we do have to do a monthly episode at some point. But yeah, well, there you go.
Sure.
There you have it. That was Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Oh, wowee. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram, Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at NYChillin on Twitter. You can follow Brian at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. He plays video games on Twitch sometimes. You'll have to guess when, because he doesn't tell anybody. But in any case, just subscribe to him or whatever on twitch.tv/itspunchline. You can email the show itself at follow the show at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the show on Twitter especially so you can take part in the really good chapter of the week poll. It'd be super cool. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. That'd be super cool. Email us there. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. Please do. That would be very nice. Every time I get a new subscriber, I get a little endorphin rush. You can also give me little endorphin rushes through likes, comments, shares. Please do. I would appreciate that. And if you prefer audio podcasts, we're pretty much on every audio platform that exists. So check us out at any of those.
All of them shits.
Yeah, give us a 5-star review on any of the platforms you listen to. The audio version of the podcast usually comes out first. So if that's an incentive to you at all, go for it. Yeah, that's it. We'll see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out, guys. Thanks for listening.